Welcome to Horror Headlines, everybody, and happy Halloween for you guys watching this on the premiere date, October 31st, 2025. Hope you guys have a great Halloween season. We are back with Horror Headlines, and tonight we have five big news topics, including one I am super excited to get into. Hint, hint, he's sitting right here. So, speaking of that, let's get into our topic number one for this week's horror headlines. All right, our first topic is a big one. We're starting with the biggest news that came out today. Scream 7. The trailer has finally hit. Sidney Prescott battles Ghostface alongside her daughter, Tatum Prescott. Scream 7 will be slashing its way into theaters on February 26, 2026, and Paramount has unleashed the official trailer in celebration of Halloween Eve. Neve Campbell is back as Sidney Prescott, with the character taking center stage in the 7th installment, and she'll be joined by returning players including David Arquette, Courtney Cox, Scott Foley, and Matthew Lillard, with Mason Gooding and Jasmine Savoy Brown also set to reprise their role from the previous two installments. Here is the new plot synopsis. When a new Ghostface killer emerges in the quiet town where Sidney Prescott has built her new life, her darkest fears are realized as her daughter, played by Isabel May, becomes the next target. Determined to protect her family, Cindy must face the horrors of her past to put an end to the bloodshed once and for all. This particular Ghostface, he's gonna burn it all down. Set 2 years after Scream 6, Scream 7 is being directed by original Scream writer Kevin Williamson from a script by Guy Busick, who wrote Scream 2022 and Scream 6. The cast for next year's Scream 7 includes Ann Camp, Joe McHale, McKenna Grace, Michelle Rudolph, Jeremy Tetro, Asa German, Celeste O'Connor, Sam Reacher, Ethan Embry, Tim Simmons, and Mark Consuelos. Matthew Lillard recently teased, "I'm thrilled to be back. The movie's fantastic, and I'm really excited for people to see it. It's not going to ruin the franchise." That's the good news. All right, so guys, we have our Scream 7 trailer, teaser trailer, and I am super excited. You can tell by this goofy smile on my face. The trailer was incredible. It gave me, as a massive Scream fan, so much to speculate and theorize about. I love the opening sequence of the couple staying at Stu Marcus' house on 261 Turner Lane. It's been turned into a great Airbnb. It's such a great commentary on how Hollywood, especially today, uh, glorifies real life serial killers like Jeffrey Dahmer and Ed Gein. If you guys seen Ryan Murphy does a lot of those, especially recently with Monster Ed Gein, and how fans obsess over true crime. And Scream is doing that commentary by using Stu's house as a tourist attraction. It's making money off of a in-universe real event that happened at Stu Macher's house. So I love that they're bringing that commentary of when does obsession of a real life event, of a real life killer, compared to your Freddys, your Jasons. You can't compare those two because one is real, one is a fictional character. So I love that they are bringing that in to this movie. I love that Cindy named her daughter Tatum. It is so heartwarming that she immediately thought of her best friend Tatum from the original movie. It honors her best friend. It shows that the writers did not forget about Tatum like they did in Scream 2, Scream 3, and Scream 4. So it's great that Cindy is remembering her past by giving the name Tatum to her daughter, someone who can pass on that legacy. I really love that. I love the possibility of the use of AI as well in Scream 7. You can clearly hear Dewey's voice in the trailer talking about all the people you love end up dead. That's not something that Dewey himself would say if he was actually alive. Dewey has been a character who has been the shining light during the dark times. I don't think that Dewey, as a character, would say something like that to Cindy, someone he sees as close as a sister. But a Ghostface killer trying to get in Sydney's head, they would say this stuff to make her second guess herself. So I love that. Stu's voice being heard at the end is great as well, as we know Matthew Lillard will be back. I am curious if Stu is actually alive or if this is another AI use. I know a lot of people will want Stu to be back and alive. And if it's told correctly, I can buy it. I'm still kind of skeptical on how he could be alive this whole time and no one knows anything about it or hasn't heard anything from him in the last 25 years. But I'm willing to give Kevin Williamson a lot of breaks here because he's the man who wrote Scream, my favorite horror movie of all time, my favorite movie of all time. He brought this world to us, so I am willing to give him that opportunity to show what he can do behind the camera as well. So, guys, what did you think of the Scream 7 trailer? It gets me more excited. Are you excited? This cast is stacked. I'm curious about Roman Bridger as well. Where will they go with him? Let me know in the comments below if you did enjoy this trailer. If not, let me know why. And we will move on to our next topic. All right, guys, our second news topic is also a big one. Jennifer's Body director Karen Kusuma provides update on a fun and crazy sequel. Jennifer's Body is more celebrated than ever, 16 years removed from its botched release, leading to talks of a sequel from the creative team behind the original. Director Karen Kusuma spoke to Deadline about the idea, which is currently in the works, from writer Diablo Cody. She said, "I know she's working on it right now, and I'm very excited to hear what comes of it. I know some of the bones of it, so I'm not going to give anything away, but it sounds fun and crazy like the first film. And I have no doubt that Diablo will do something absolutely incredible with it." Kusuma also spoke on the 2009 film's unlikely cult status. She said, "I'm so grateful that the film managed to find its audience, perhaps on a different timeline than any of us might have expected or hoped for. But I'm so thankful that the work continues to speak to people. I'm just so satisfied by that." Cody told Blaze Discussing last year that she wants to make a sequel. "I am not done with Jennifer's Body. I need a partner who believes in it as much as I do, and that hasn't really happened yet. I need someone who believes in it who has $1 billion." Amanda Seyfried has expressed interest in reprising her role as protagonist Needy alongside Megan Fox as Jennifer. In Jennifer's Body, a newly possessed high school cheerleader turns into a succubus who specializes in killing her male classmates, leaving it up to her best friend to put an end to the horror. So, I did not even know we were getting a Jennifer's Body sequel, but I absolutely love this. I love Jennifer's Body. It's a film that, when it came out in 2009, I wasn't old enough to see it, and I wasn't in love with horror like I am now. But once I got older and watched it and saw how great and timely the movie was, it's a story about friendship and being sexually satisfied in a way that hits differently in the 2020s. So a sequel could be very interesting to see where they could go. The ending to Jennifer's Body could lead to Needy escaping and tracking down Jennifer, or it could be like a revenge tour for putting her in the insane asylum, if you know the ending of that movie. So I'm interested to see where they can go with this. Is this going to be a brand new story, or are they going to bring back, Megan Fox and Amanda Seyfried? I love that Diablo and Karen are coming back to the film to both write and direct this film, respectively, because they gave the first movie a really fun and unique style that I would love to see again. I know a lot of people did not love Lisa Frankenstein, but I think the writing in that was so fun. It had such a cool vibe to it as well, that have that come back with Jennifer's Body. I cannot wait to see what that does. And I hope we get to see Amanda Seyfried and Megan Fox return, because they had incredible chemistry in this movie. What do you guys think of the sequel to Jennifer's Body and the update that we got? Let me know in the comments below. Does that make you more excited? And let's move on to our next topic. All right, guys, our next big topic is another big trailer that released today as of recording. Stranger Things Season 5 trailer. The entire party unites to hunt Vecna. At long last, we can begin. Get ready for one last adventure with the trailer for the 5th and final season of Stranger Things, set to Queens, Who Wants to Live Forever from Highlander. With Hawkins under lockdown, Elle in hiding, and danger lurking at every turn, the entire party unites with one single goal: to hunt and kill Vecna. I think what's unique about this season is that it starts a little bit in chaos because our heroes ultimately lost at the end of season 4, co-creator Ross Duffer tells Netflix. We usually set up their normal life and how they're going to school, and then we introduce the supernatural element. But in this case, the season is sprinting from the start. Matt Duffer said they're not experiencing normal life. Nothing in Hawkins is normal anymore. Their movement is restricted, and there are Big Brother cameras everywhere. So not only are they active, their everyday normal lives are anything but. Producer Sean Levy said the action is next level, the visual effects are next level, but I'm also happy to say that the emotional center remains the same. And part of the magic of the show is that even as we evolve, even as storytellers become more epic, it's always more anchored in these characters that we love. Stranger Things concludes on Netflix in 3 parts: 4 episodes on November 26th, 3 episodes on December 25th, and the series finale, also in theaters, on December 31st. Each volume will release at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. And here's the plot summary of the season. In the fall of 1987, Hawkins is scarred by the opening of the rifts, and our heroes are united by a simple goal: find and kill Vecna. But he has vanished, his whereabouts and plans unknown. Complicating their mission, the government has placed the town under military quarantine and intensifies its hunt for Eleven, forcing her back into hiding. As the anniversary of Will's disappearance approaches, so does a heavy, familiar dread. The final battle is looming, and with it a darkness more powerful and more deadly than anything they've ever faced before. To end this nightmare, they'll need everyone, the full party, standing together one last time. So, guys, I just got done watching the trailer for Stranger Things Season 5 once again. I went back and rewatched it. This looks so epic. This looks like what I want from a series finale. Everybody coming together. One big final threat in Vecna. And it looks like we're getting epic battles. But I love what Sean Levy said. There is going to be a lot of epic battles. There is going to be a lot of, great moments and action scenes. But the core thing about Stranger Things that works very well is not just the monsters, it's not just the creatures, it's not just the action. It's the characters. It's their friendship. It's their human interaction and how they work off of each other. You have like so many different, connections in the friend group, and just the town of Hawkins in general feels like it's been lived in. That we're now getting to see these people who we've watched since 2016 when season 1 came out. And we get to see them almost a decade later and what their story is. This looks like it has the character interactions that I want, the suspense that gets me hooked to the series, and it gave me really cool moments like Vecna talking to Will, saying, "You will help me one last time." What does that mean? Is Will going to die? Is he going to sacrifice his life? Is 11 going to die? So many questions. The cast is stacked. Not only do we have the returning actors, like, of course, David Harbour, Millie Bobby Brown, Finn Wolfhard, Gaten Matarazzo, just all of these great actors, but we're also adding Linda Hamilton as well. Sarah Connor from the Terminator franchise. Like, that's badass. And I love how they keep bringing in these 80s and 90s and 2000s stars that really resonates with people. I love seeing the returning monsters as well. Saw the Demogorgon in there. It feels like an epic battle between the Upside Down's best and the people of Hawkins. We also saw a really cool battle scene on the military base, which I am super excited to see where that goes. So if you guys can't tell, I am super excited for Stranger Things Season 5. I'm going to go back through and do my rewatch leading up to Season 5 next month. I am so incredibly excited to see if they land the plane with this and where they're going to go from here. All right, guys, let me know what you think of Stranger Things Season 5 trailer down below. Are you excited for it as I am, or are you hesitant? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Let's move on to our next topic. All right, guys, our next topic is also from BladeDiscussing.com. New Line Cinema and Warner Brothers are reportedly developing the Conjuring prequel movie with Roger Hart directing. This year's The Conjuring Last Rites was billed as the final installment in the franchise universe, a claim that director Michael Chavez recently doubled down on. Chavez told comicbookmovie.com, after the film's successful release in theaters, "It is done. This is the final chapter. There are no Conjuring movies. It is absolutely the end." But The Conjuring Last Rites made nearly $500 million at the worldwide box office this year, suggesting that fans aren't done exploring the case files of Ed and Lorraine Warren just yet. And now, indeed, it is being reported by a trusted source, Boris Kitt from The Hollywood Reporter, that New Line is in development on a feature film that will serve as a Conjuring prequel. Kitt tweeted this week, True News short film director Roger Hart is in talks to direct the Conjuring prequel. This is a go movie for New Line, especially after Last Rites has now grossed almost $500 million. Roger Hart's credits include the short film Transylvania, Trigger, and Reel, and he also directed music videos for musicians GMS and Yumsov. Most recently, he directed a TV series titled I'm going to butcher this, so I apologize. Le Monde Macul de Jerome Kendor? I know I butchered that. I am so sorry, guys. There are currently 9 films in the Conjuring universe: The Conjuring, Annabelle, The Conjuring 2, Annabelle Creations, The Nun, Annabelle Comes Home, The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It, The Nun 2, and this year's The Conjuring Last Rites. So, this is where I gotta kind of be not negative, but just uninterested. If I'm being honest, sadly, this is a news story that doesn't interest me in the least. The Conjuring universe have been going for so long that I don't really care about any new projects being made, and it sucks because the first 2 Conjuring movies were fantastic, easily in my top 10 favorite horror movies of the 2010s, because they gave us a great scary story focusing on not only religion but the family aspect of it, especially in something like The Conjuring 2. But you get 9 movies. It's been spanning since 2013, and I thought Annabelle was awful. I thought it was one of the worst movies I've ever seen. I fell asleep during The Nun 2, didn't really watch it, and I did not like the original Nun. I thought that movie was boring and way, way too long. So I just don't have interest in this universe. But that's not saying that it doesn't have its fans. Of course it does. The Conjuring Last Rites made $500 million at the box office, so there's obviously a fandom still there. But it's not surprising that this is not the final installment because, as I said, The Conjuring Last Rites made almost $500 million at the box office. So I had this feeling that no matter what Michael Chavez had to say, this wasn't going to be the end of the franchise, and obviously it's not because we're getting a prequel. I just have grown tired of the Conjuring films. There are some really good ones, like I love Annabelle Creations, I like Annabelle Comes Home, and I love the first 2 movies. But it just seems like Warner Brothers and New Line are just really milking this franchise dry. But I am also not going to be, completely negative on the idea of it because it is a prequel. This news doesn't interest me, but I know there are fans of this franchise out there, and I'm so glad for them because they are getting new movies. So, guys, what do you think of New Line coming out with a Conjuring prequel movie? Let me know in the comments below, and let's move on to our final news topic. All right, guys, our final news topic of the episode is Influencer director to helm FOMO described as Midsommar meets Squid Games. Artist David Harder, influencer in Spiral, has signed on to direct FOMO, a horror thriller described as Midsommar meets Squid Game. The film follows a party trip to the Greek islands that turns sinister when a group of friends realize they've become unwilling participants in an ancient ritual with life or death stakes. Survive a series of trials and be rewarded with an endless lifetime of pleasures. Fail and be offered as a sacrifice to the gods. Party only ends when the last man is standing. So, not a long story there, but I absolutely loved Influencer. I think that movie's style and its substance and just the world it swept me into were so cool. But to hear this idea of these people just going to this island and unknowingly signing up for this game where it really is life or death, and talking about sacrificing people to the gods, which really does sound like Midsommar, which they do that in the movie as well. I love this idea. I love Midsommar. So having that vibes with Squid Game is very interesting. What kind of game will we see? How will the deaths play out? Are they going to be on screen? Are they going to be brought back a little bit and maybe less gory? I'm super excited to see what happens because this sounds like a very fresh and unique horror film, and that's what I love seeing. I love seeing fresh and new horror films. So, guys, let me know what you think about FOMO in the comments below. And are you excited for it? Does it sound interesting, or are you kind of put off by the Midsummer Army Squid Game comparison? Let me know what you guys think. All right, guys, if you did enjoy this, please hit the like button, subscribe to Welcome to Prime Time. Happy Halloween, and remember, stay scared.